Language Foundations Vocabulary Flashcards, helping you achieve understanding.
The act of expelling a person from their native land. The sentence was one of transportation for life. The act of moving something from one location to another. The sum charged for riding in a public conveyance. A facility consisting of the means and equipment necessary for the movement of passengers or goods. The commercial enterprise of moving goods and materials. The United States federal department that institutes and coordinates national transportation programs, created in 1966. The act of expelling a person from their native land. His deportation to a penal colony. The expulsion from a country of an undesirable alien. The act of expelling a person from their native land. Men in exile dream of hope. A person who is voluntarily absent from home or country. Expel from a country. The poet was exiled because he signed a letter protesting the government's actions. A person who is expelled from home or country by authority. The act of expelling a person from their native land. The expatriation of wealthy farmers. Migration from a place, especially migration from your native country in order to settle in another. The act of moving something from one location to another. Act of transferring property title from one person to another. The transmission of information. Something that serves as a means of transportation. Document effecting a property transfer. Transfer from one place or period to another. Transfer somebody to a different position or location of work. The act of moving something from one location to another. Application of a skill learned in one situation to a different but similar situation. Move around. Transfer the packet from his trouser pockets to a pocket in his jacket. Transferring ownership. Change from one vehicle or transportation line to another. The act of transferring something from one form to another. The transfer of the music from record to tape suppressed much of the background noise. Someone who transfers or is transferred from one position to another. The best student was a transfer from LSU. Send from one person or place to another. Lift and reset in another soil or situation. Shift the position or location of, as for business, legal, educational, or military purposes. A ticket that allows a passenger to change conveyances. Cause to change ownership. I transferred my stock holdings to my children. Move from one place to another. Transfer the data. The act of moving something from one location to another. The act of moving something from one location to another. Hold spellbound. A mechanism that transports magnetic tape across the read, write heads of a tape playback recorder. Something that serves as a means of transportation. A state of being carried away by overwhelming emotion. Move while supporting, either in a vehicle or in one's hands or on one's body. The commercial enterprise of moving goods and materials. Transport commercially. Send from one person or place to another. An exchange of molecules, and their kinetic energy and momentum, across the boundary between adjacent layers of a fluid or across cell membranes. Move something or somebody around, usually over long distances. An agenda of things to do. The sum charged for riding in a public conveyance. Proceed or get along. A paying, taxi, passenger. Eat well. The food and drink that are regularly served or consumed. A facility consisting of the means and equipment necessary for the movement of passengers or goods. Make a passage or journey from one place to another. A journey usually by ship. A surveying instrument for measuring horizontal and vertical angles, consisting of a small telescope mounted on a tripod. Cause or enable to pass through. The canal will transit hundreds of ships every day. Pass across, a sign or house of the zodiac, or pass across, the disk of a celestial body or the meridian of a place. The comet will transit on September 11th. Revolve, the telescope of a surveying transit, about its horizontal transverse axis in order to reverse its direction. A facility consisting of the means and equipment necessary for the movement of passengers or goods. Conveyance provided by the ships belonging to one country or industry. The commercial enterprise of moving goods and materials. The United States federal department that institutes and coordinates national transportation programs, created in 1966. Scatter or intersperse like dots or studs. Street name for lysergic acid diethylamide. The shorter of the two telegraphic signals used in Morse code. A very small circular shape. Draw lines between the dots. The United States federal department that institutes and coordinates national transportation programs, created in 1966. Distribute loosely. Make a dot or dots. Mark with a dot. Dot your I's. Rejection by means of an act of banishing or proscribing someone. A decree that prohibits something. Rejection by means of an act of banishing or proscribing someone. The state of being banished or ostracized, excluded from society by general consent. The act of changing location from one place to another. The movement of people from the farms to the cities. A euphemism for defecation. He had a bowel movement. A group of people with a common ideology who try together to achieve certain general goals. He was a charter member of the movement. An optical illusion of motion produced by viewing a rapid succession of still pictures of a moving object. The succession of flashing lights gave an illusion of movement. A natural event that involves a change in the position or location of something. A general tendency to change, as of opinion. A broad movement of the electorate to the right. A change of position that does not entail a change of location. Movement as a sign of life. A series of actions advancing a principle or tending toward a particular end. The movement to end slavery. A major self-contained part of a symphony or sonata. The second movement is slow and melodic. The act of changing the location of something. The movement of cargo onto the vessel. The driving and regulating parts of a mechanism, as of a watch or clock. It was an expensive watch with a diamond movement. Criminal law. A pleading describing some wrong or offense. He was arrested on a charge of larceny. Move quickly and violently. A quantity of explosive to be set off at one time. This cartridge has a powder charge of 50 grains. The quantity of unbalanced electricity in a body, either positive or negative, and construed as an excess or deficiency of electrons. The battery needed a fresh charge. Cause to be agitated, excited, or roused. The speaker charged up the crowd with his inflammatory remarks. Psychoanalysis. The libidinal energy invested in some idea or person or object. Freud thought of cathexis as a psychic analog of an electrical charge. Demand payment. Will I get charged for this service? Direct into a position for use. He charged his weapon at me. Blame for. Make a claim of wrongdoing or misbehavior against. He charged the director with indifference. Request for payment of a debt. They submitted their charges at the end of each month. Cause to be admitted. Of persons to an institution. File a formal charge against. The suspect was charged with murdering his wife. To make a rush at or sudden attack upon, as in battle. Give over to another for care or safekeeping. Provide, a device, with something necessary. Attention and management implying responsibility for safety. A special assignment that is given to a person or group. His charge was deliver a message. Heraldry consisting of a design or image depicted on a shield. A formal statement of a command or injunction to do something. The judge's charge to the jury. Attribute responsibility to. The tragedy was charged to her inexperience. An assertion that someone is guilty of a fault or offense. The newspaper published charges that Jones was guilty of drunken driving. The swift release of a store of effective force. Impose a task upon, assign a responsibility to. He charged her with cleaning up all the files over the weekend. Assign a duty, responsibility or obligation to. She was charged with supervising the creation of a concordance. An impetuous rush toward someone or something. The wrestler's charge carried him past his adversary. A person committed to your care. The teacher led her charges across the street. Cause formation of a net electrical charge in or on. Charge a conductor. Energize a battery by passing a current through it in the direction opposite to discharge. I need to charge my car battery. Enter a certain amount as a charge. He charged me $15. Fill or load to capacity. Charge the wagon with hay. Financial liabilities, such as a tax. The charges against the estate. Instruct, a jury, about the law, its application, and the weighing of evidence. Instruct or command with authority. The teacher charged the children to memorize the poem. Lie down on command, of hunting dogs. Make an accusatory claim. The defense attorney charged that the jurors were biased. Pay with a credit card. Pay with plastic money. Postpone payment by recording a purchase as a debt. Will you pay cash or charge the purchase? Place a heraldic bearing on. charge all weapons, shields, and banners. Saturate. The room was charged with tension and anxiety. Set or ask for a certain price. How much do you charge for lunch? The price charged for some article or service. The admission charge. The act of installing something, as equipment. The telephone installation took only a few minutes. A building or place that provides a particular service or is used for a particular industry. A formal entry into an organization or position or office. He gave a speech as part of his installation into the Hall of Fame. A building or place that provides a particular service or is used for a particular industry. The assembly plant is an enormous facility. A natural effortlessness. They conversed with great facility. Skillful performance or ability without difficulty. He was famous for his facility as an archer. A service that an organization or a piece of equipment offers you. A cell phone with internet facility. Something designed and created to serve a particular function and to afford a particular convenience or service. The activity of providing goods and services involving financial and commercial and industrial aspects. A commercial or industrial enterprise and the people who constitute it. He bought his brother's business. Incidental activity performed by an actor for dramatic effect. His business with the cane was hilarious. The principal activity in your life that you do to earn money. He's not in my line of business. Business concerns collectively. Government and business could not agree. Customers collectively. The activity of providing goods and services involving financial and commercial and industrial aspects. Computers are now widely used in business. An immediate objective. Gossip was the main business of the evening. A rightful concern or responsibility. It's none of your business. The volume of commercial activity. Business is good today. The activity of providing goods and services involving financial and commercial and industrial aspects. An enterprise connected with commerce. A federal department in the executive branch of the government of the United States. The transportation of people, as a family or colony, to a new settlement, as after an upheaval of some kind. The transportation of people, as a family or colony, to a new settlement, as after an upheaval of some kind. The act of changing your residence or place of business. A hypothetical mode of instantaneous transportation. Matter is dematerialized at one place and recreated at another. Fly people or goods to or from places not accessible by other means. Food is airlifted into Bosnia. Transportation of people or goods by air, especially when other means of access are unavailable. The fee charged for carrying goods in lighters. The transportation of goods on a lighter. Lifting device consisting of a platform or cage that is raised and lowered mechanically in a vertical shaft in order to move people from one floor to another in a building. Raise or haul up with or as if with mechanical help. The act of raising something. He responded with a lift of his eyebrow. Fly people or goods to or from places not accessible by other means. Food is airlifted into Bosnia. Invigorate or heighten. Lift my spirits. Make off with belongings of others. Transportation of people or goods by air, especially when other means of access are unavailable. Rise up. Cancel officially. Lift an embargo. Perform cosmetic surgery on someone's face. Take illegally. A wave that lifts the surface of the water or ground. Put an end to. Lift a ban. Plastic surgery to remove wrinkles and other signs of aging from your face. An incision is made near the hairline and skin is pulled back and excess tissue is excised. Some actresses have more than one facelift. The event of something being raised upward. Raise from a lower to a higher position. Move upwards. Lift one's eyes. Take without referencing from someone else's writing or speech, of intellectual property. The component of the aerodynamic forces acting on an airfoil that opposes gravity. Move upward. The fog lifted. Raise in rank or condition. The new law lifted many people from poverty. A powered conveyance that carries skiers up a hill. A device worn in a shoe or boot to make the wearer look taller or to correct a shortened leg. A ride in a car. He gave me a lift home. Call to stop the hunt or to retire, as of hunting dogs. Make audible. He lifted a war whoop. One of the layers forming the heel of a shoe or boot. Pay off, a mortgage. Remove from a seedbed or from a nursery. Lift the tulip bulbs. Remove from a surface. The detective carefully lifted some fingerprints from the table. Remove, hair, by scalping. Rise upward, as from pressure or moisture. The floor is lifting slowly. Take hold of something and move it to a different location. Lift the box onto the table. Take off or away by decreasing. Lift the pressure. Take root crops out of the ground. Lift potatoes. The act of giving temporary assistance. The transfer from one conveyance to another for shipment.
Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to become a part of our growing YouTube community and to learn English effectively.